Thank you. So part of my job is to be your servant. And so when I got asked to do the welcome here, I feel like I'm also being welcomed. So I am, as you just heard, Susan Henking, the interim president of Salem Academy and College. And I want to welcome you to the 249th, and for many of us, our first opening chapel of the Academy. I have learned an immense amount about the Academy since I became interim president in June. And I want to say a few things about the Academy people who've inspired me and called me to be a better leader, because I think that's what this first Friday of the academic year 2020-2021 is about, because it's the Academy that has taught me the most this summer. It is Academy students and staff and faculty and alums and an acting head of school who said yes when she might have said no, named Mrs. Sorrells, who've inspired me and reminded me of your mission about courage, compassion, and character. Some of your colleagues who are recent alums got in my face, to be honest with you, and gave me a very hard time about some early decisions I made, asking me to take the place they loved and help us all make it a place that's better. And they were the first people to join two words. They said love, and they said be, three words, be better. And I think that's who we want to be this year, a place that loves Salem and that makes it a better Salem for the future. They reminded me that 249 years is an amazing thing. It's also a history marked by flaws and by improvements. Whether we're talking about 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders, 12th graders, or presidents, right? We're all rooted in history, and we're all people who make a better world. The last time I did this, I got an acronym. I said to a group of college students, what day is today? And they said FDOC, and I had no idea what they were talking about. They meant first day of class. So this morning, I imagined saying to you all, what day is it? And you would say, and then I realized what I was doing, FFOC, First Friday on campus. You know, it's the first Friday, but there's many more to come. It's also today the 57th anniversary of the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. So when I was thinking about this morning, I was reminded by a friend that those were young people. John Lewis was in his early 20s. I know that feels old to some of you. He was just out of college. He was like those alums that said to me, do better. He was like you when he was one of the first freedom riders in the United States. Martin Luther King was 34 years old when he gave that I Have a Dream speech. He was, for me, not for some of you, young, right? He at the time was half as old as I am now, literally half as old. So it's a good reminder, I think, and an inspiration to all of us that the work of learning and leading go together, right? You all are here to learn and lead, not to learn or lead. I'm here to learn and lead, not learn or lead. And the chapel actually is a way of saying to each other, in this space, virtual as it is, we stand in the history of the Moravian traditions, the history of our own lives, and we build a future that will be characterized by courage, compassion, and character. And I will tell you, you have already done it to me. I can't wait to see what else you can accomplish this year. Those of you who are new, those of you who've been here before, those of you who have been here 20-some years like Mrs. Sorrells, this is our year, and this is a new Salem because of you. So welcome, good afternoon, and I can't wait to see what happens in the coming weeks and months together. And thanks for inviting me, it matters a lot. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Henson. I am Amy Rio, the chaplain here at Salem Academy College. Most of you know me. For those who are new this year, I have not met you. I look forward to meeting you. So as we begin our opening chapel, let us begin with prayer. Divine Spirit, we are gathered in a different way for our opening chapel this afternoon, and we miss seeing each other in person, face to face. But we know we are still strongly connected through our Salem spirit and the community which we share. Now, as we come together as the Salem Academy community, we are thankful that each one of us is filled with the divine light. We are thankful for the many blessings that we all have in our lives, and especially we are thankful for the gifts of each other's presence. Empower us this year to learn and grow in all the ways we can, to expand our brains and our understanding, to make new connections, to have our hearts overflowing with love and compassion. Help us to remember that the greatest we can be is to be people who fight for justice, love mercy, and who are humble in our care for all people. Empower us, guide us, calm our fears and anxieties, and lead us to growth, courage, hope, and peace. Amen.
Good afternoon. I'm Chris Parassi-Sorrells, and I'm the acting head of school for Salem Academy and College. I'm happy to be here with you today as we celebrate opening chapel for Salem's 249th year. This campus has welcomed girls and young women of all ages from all over the world since 1772. They come to Salem desiring a strong education, lifelong friendships, and personal growth. I believe the founding Moravian congregational members would smile with pride if they saw us. The school for little girls with 3 students learning reading, writing, sewing, and knitting is now an academic institution where girls study chemistry, calculus, debate politics and world events, converse in numerous languages, and participate in internships involving medicine, museum studies, environmental science, law, and more. The school for little girls outgrew their one room in the Gamine House, which stood where Main Hall is now located. They grew because the school adapted to meet the needs of their students. Once again, the Academy is moving. Our physical move to the original side of campus demonstrates our continuing desire to grow, adapt, and meet the needs of 21st century females. Our new location means Academy students will have easier access to additional curriculum opportunities at Salem College, the main dining hall, lounge, and meeting spaces in the Student Center, outdoor spaces such as cool patio, and even the equipment in the fitness center will become a regular part of our Academy life. The improved dialogue between the Academy and College is building a strong foundation for Salem, one that our Academy students will benefit from. The success of this move depends on each of us being open to new ideas, being flexible, and being willing to embrace change. Flexibility and embracing change, this seems to be 2020's theme. Our new families are coming to us at the perfect time. New to us campus space, fresh curriculum ideas, passionate faculty and staff. I can go on and on about the good things happening. Our excitement, this is all they will know. For some of our returning students, families, and even our alumni, this change comes with mixed feelings. But I want to remind them that memories from their Academy experience are not tied to a building or even a specific course. Their memories are tied to the relationships they formed with each other, their teachers, and their Academy family. Together in our new space, we will create memories and new experiences that are wonderful. There is one thing about Salem Academy that has not changed since 1772 and should never change, and that is Salem's ability to provide a strong education, encourage personal growth, and be a place where lifelong friendships are formed. I hope all of you are just as ready as I am for a challenging, transformative, and life-changing year. We will now hear from Ina Commenz, President of the Salem Academy Alumni Association.
Thank you, Ms. Sorrells, and good afternoon. I'm Ina Kamens. I'm a member of the class of 1973. Are you hearing me? Yes, okay, thank you. I serve as the president of the Alumni Board and the Alumni Association, and thereby I also serve as a board of trustee of our beloved institution. I bring you greetings from nearly 3,000 Salem Academy alumni around this country and across the world. We welcome our new students into our community, and we welcome our returning students back, but not physically to our beautiful campus, but rather virtually. What an amazing community. My, how things are different than when I sat in my opening chapels 50 years ago. Whoa. It's a special honor for me to be here with you through this virtual experience. As I speak to you today, as Ms. Sorrell said, I'm amazed and I'm grateful for the forward-thinking Moravians who made it a point to provide an education for girls at a time when that was not the norm. Starting in 1772, the Single Sisters operated the girls' school, later to be known as the Salem Female Academy. And for 249 consecutive years, girls and young women seeking a superior education have been welcomed to Salem Academy. I'm also amazed at our forward-thinking Salem administration and faculty who in 2020 made it a point to provide a robust remote learning experience and a way to continue our Salem community virtually. What unique opportunities you have ahead of you as you embark and continue your Salem education. I'm jealous and pleased to know that all of our students are gathered today through all kinds of technology platforms. You continue to be part of our Salem continuum. You will have the opportunity to build upon your education, expand your opportunities towards college and the future of your choice, and learn how to use your voice. We see this each day in our Salem alumni. From our current graduates to those from the 60s, they are proud to be women from Salem, and they're proud to take the stage. On this day of the anniversary of the March on Washington and Martin Luther King and John Lewis and so many others who used their voice, and during this week of the anniversary of the passing of the 19th Amendment, when women used their voice and eventually were granted the right to vote, and during this crazy time in our country and our world, we need to rely on our Salem education, our learning of how to use our critical thinking skills, and our ability to use our voice. To Interim President Susan Hinking, Board Chairman Mr. Folan, trustees, Ms. Searles, Ms. Pearson, and everyone who works to support Salem, a sincere thank you for your dedication and hard work. We wouldn't be here without you. To our dedicated faculty, you rose to a new high last year with your induction of remote learning. You did it. You delivered an amazing experience on which we rely going into this fall. You kept us together. You kept us going forward. And now to our wonderful students, new and returning, all virtually. Thank you for being part of our Salem community. You can count on the support of the Alumni Association and the Alumni Board. Let me tell you a little bit about us. Our all-volunteer group of 15 alumni work to advance the mission of Salem Academy. We assist the Alumni Relations Office to plan and organize alumni events locally and around the country, the largest of which is our association meeting, which takes place in April. Last spring, due to COVID, we held our first ever alumni Zoom meeting and had over 100 alumni online chatting and asking questions. What a great way for us to stay in touch and connected across the many miles. We continue to use Zoom and other technology for communication and networking with alumni. In addition, we look forward to doing more Zoom-based community building activities with you, our students, this fall. We also support our students in many other ways. Last week, you received goodie bags in your supply boxes. Typically, you will see us around campus, coming to your sporting events, attending your school plays, participating in admissions, open houses, leaving notes in your boxes in the tag room. Or we'd be in the faculty lounge, showing appreciation to our teachers. You would see us engaging in students and speaking at reunion weekend alumni panel. We always look forward to celebrating our seniors and graduation. But this fall, it will be different. We are working with Ms. Searles and Ms. Pearson on how we can continue to enrich your student experience. We look forward to meeting and working with you through various technology channels, and hopefully later this year, we'll all be back on campus. Lastly, our hardworking alumni board do so much behind the scenes to support you and serve to advance our beloved school, such as donating scholarships, providing Jan-term internships, encouraging our alumni base to make financial contributions. I'm proud to say that last year, our alumni board had 100% participation in the Salem Academy Fund. In closing, from the alumni to all students, we know wherever you're sitting today, you perhaps are feeling some apprehension, but you're eager to get to work. You're eager to find your place. You will find your place here, and you will be supported with teachers and staff and the alumni to help you find your voice. There's a saying around here, once a Salem student, always a Salem alumna. You will always be alumna, even if you've just been here one day. Hopefully you'll be here 1, 2, 3, 4 years. So welcome to the fold. Salem spirit makes us one, Salem strong.
Thank you so much, Ina. And now for our section on hearing from others who have come before you. It may be difficult to picture yourselves 50 years from now, sitting in similar shoes to what you just heard from Ina, but sure enough, that day will come. And we have many people who have sat in your places and who would like to share words of encouragement with you all. So at this time, I'd like to call on Carolyn Hull-Ride Bauer, class of 71, to share a message with you all.
Welcome, Salem women, and thank you, Ashley. And yes, I'm class of 1971. I guess that makes me 50 years ago. I had 2 sisters who came later, but you all have begun a journey to become Salem strong. Salem offers a calm, safe, nurturing place in a world that has become amazingly uncertain. As we stay mostly at home during COVID-19, we have a chance to think deeply about challenges that face all of us. And I am finding lifelong learning continuing. The things I'm thinking deeply about are racial injustice, gender injustice, class injustice, environmental injustice. I'm thinking about global warming and wildfires, storm surges and hurricanes. I'm thinking about overuse of world's resources by a world population that has grown 3 times as big since I was born. That's just amazing to me. Yet we see solutions. Communities are coming together just like the community in Old Salem 250 years ago. And I encourage you to walk that square where it was a community. We see backyards now planted with trees, grasses, and food for wildlife and for people. I see community gardens at my daughter's where my daughter lives now in downtown St. Louis, so people are coming together. We find solace not just in nature, but in art, music, and books. And we see people showing up to help each other. But most amazingly, we see you. You are the future scientists, the future artists. You're the future caretakers of the world. And so I have hope because of you. I have hope because if you listen to your inner voice, you will hear your dreams. And I have hope that Salem will help you pursue those dreams. Salem helped me, as well as all the friends I made and the people I met, helped me pursue my dreams. Salem also helped me develop the moral courage to do what was right, to love mercy, and to walk humbly. That dramatic monologue that your teacher, your Salem teacher, is going to assign you is going to help you develop the ability to become a powerful speaker and maybe a powerful leader. That traditional Salem walk, I don't know if you still have to do it. I had to be kicked, I carried kicking and screaming to do my morning walk. but it might inspire you, like me, to complete a Chicago Marathon. Those rigorous courses just might put you a step ahead in any college in the United States. My calculus course turned out to be my freshman college calculus course, so I had no math my first year. It was my Salem calculus that did that. You travel now on the shoulders of all of us Salem sisters, and your legacy is going to be what you choose to love. With your minds and your hearts and with each other, you can be Salem strong. So far may our song ring clear, and good luck to all of you.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. It is my pleasure to now share with all of you several messages from other alumni who had special words to deliver to all of you today. Getting to know your sisters. 64 years ago, Salem was a finishing school for young ladies. 13 students made up the freshman class. During the next 4 years, the class grew to 35, the class of 1960. During that time, Sputnik was put into space by the Russians. Computers with punch cards were invented. The Ford Thunderbird convertible was the coolest car. Hot Krispy Kreme donuts were the best treat. Students were required to be in their rooms with lights out at 10 p.m., and they had to wear a hat and gloves when boarding a plane to go home for the holidays. That wasn't so bad. My great aunts, who attended the academy 120 years ago, had to spend Christmas holidays at Salem because the dirt roads were too muddy and rough for a horse and buggy to travel 100 miles to pick them up. As my friends always say, everything changes. In 1960, most women were sent to college to catch a husband, an educated man, but not the Salem Academy graduating classes. During our 4 years at Salem, the academy changed. New expectations emerged. Leadership and responsibility became the focus. Our class produced doctors and lawyers when those professions were mostly represented by men. Out of our class came women who had many other roles: a university vice chancellor, an artist, a bank teller, a retail entrepreneur, a teacher, the first leader of the North Carolina Council for Persons with Disabilities, a member of the United States Congress, farmer, equestrian, civic worker, fundraiser, philanthropist, athlete, actor, opera singer, chaplain, writer, and musician. Many had multiple roles, including beacons for the homeless and the poor in spirit, caretakers for friends, and family, wives, mothers, and grandmothers. How do I know this? I am fortunate to have been the class correspondent for many years, so I've had a good excuse to be in touch with every classmate I could find. When I graduated from Salem, I knew the names of all my classmates, but I knew very little about them. I didn't get to know them very well until they left Salem. They matured into fine women, and I have grown to respect and admire each and every one of them for their individual accomplishments, as well as their individual opinions and views of life. I urge you to become acquainted with all the women in your class. Identify a characteristic, a strength of each girl. Keep an open mind. Regardless of their actions, their opinions, their interests, or their behavior, each of them has a gift that will blossom over time. And if you allow yourself the privilege of staying in touch with your Salem sisters over the years, you will be rewarded. For you will recognize a resilience and attitude that shapes their lives. You will find that common thread that binds every member of your class. It is a positive attitude that you will recognize as having been fostered and nurtured at Salem, and you will feel good to have been a part of it. Several of my classmates got together for a little beach trip before our 50th reunion. It was awkward. Our class had not gotten together for 25 years. Nobody looked. We were much older, in our late 60s. Most had white hair while a few had colored their hair. We even got the names mixed up. The one thing that had not changed were our voices. Except for having a little different pitch, everyone sounded the same as they had 50 years ago. This is now the 60th year since our graduation. We all have white hair and a few wrinkles, so I hear. Even though we are not getting together, we remain connected by our experiences at Salem, our successes and failures, our tears and laughter. After you leave Salem, stay in touch with your classmates. Someday, when your memories of your high school years begin to fade, make a phone call that will take you back in time. A familiar voice will remind you of your common Salem experiences as if they had just happened yesterday. I hope it warms your heart, as it does mine, when the voice on the other end responds with that welcoming phrase, "Hi, Prissy, good to hear from you. What's new?" From Priscilla Bennett Rolls, class of 1960. Next one. Dear sisters, well, you at least made it back to school. That's a real victory for this crazy year. 2020 has gotten a bad rap, but there are also many positives. We're having conversations about race, class, and social issues that weren't truly happening before. Many of us are learning new ways to do things. At times, though, it's just been plain hard. Your time at Salem is a lot like 2020. You get challenged to have conversations you've never had before. You meet people you wouldn't have met in your hometown. Then you get challenged to rethink your approach to problems. I hope your year is amazing and you come out at the end richer for it. All the best, Mary Hilliard Moran, Academy class of 96, college class of 2000. Hi, my Salem siblings. You cannot imagine how much I miss you all. It seems so strange to be writing an opening chapel letter, but everyone says that, don't they? Of course, everything this year has been strange, and everyone seems to say that too. I hope you know how lucky you are that in all this strangeness, you are supported by faculty and a student body who really do care so much about you. If any school can make this year work, it's Salem. I also do have to say that you now have the very best head of school. No one compares to Chris Sorrells. I know it's tradition to give advice to each class for the upcoming year. I'm not sure how profound my insight will be, but for tradition's sake, here goes. To the freshmen and sophomores, join the robotics team. Really. That's all you need to do to have a good year. But seriously, try new things, make friends, and do stuff just because it's fun. I promise you, you will be a whole lot happier if you don't give all your time to homework. Salem can be demanding, but you can handle it. Do good work, but give yourself grace and find your balance. You have an exciting few years ahead of you. To the juniors, I know you've heard by now that you have the hardest year in store for you, but it was honestly my favorite year. So what I'll say is this: don't stay consumed by the stress, get some sleep, bring cake to A-Push, even virtually, cake always makes life better, and remember you are doing your best. At the end of the day, that's all anyone can ask for. Now for the seniors. I admit I am slightly partial to one particular senior. What can I say? Nepotism. But really, to my sister, I am so proud of you. I am so sorry so much of your senior year has been taken away from you, but I know you can make the most of it. It's still your senior year. How cool is that? As for advice, don't kill yourself stressing about college apps. Remember, this year is just as important as the next 4. Enjoy your classes and your friends and all the quirky parts of being a Salem student while you're still here. You will miss it next year. Now, as parting bit of advice, I'll share again what I said at my own graduation. It seems even more relevant now. As we navigate the newness of the coming year, learn to hold on loosely to your plans. You can't plan or predict exactly how anything is going to turn out, so be willing to take a step back and embrace the unknown. Life is chaotic, but you will end up where you need to be. I miss Salem dearly, and I am wishing the best for you all this year. Much love, Ashley Peak, Academy Class of 19. Dear faculty, staff, and of course, my beautiful Salem sisters. I vividly remember listening to those letters being read for the first time 4 years ago, and wow, I can't believe that I'm writing one for you today. I understand that opening chapel, as well as the rest of your fall, looks and feels different. It should not have to be this way, but the reality is we have to adapt and accept the changes brought to us by COVID-19. That ability to accept, but also embrace change, as well as having a positive attitude, is defined as having a growth mindset, according to my university. It is important to have a growth mindset because it sets you up for success. Here are some tips to help you develop a growth mindset and maintain a positive attitude for this semester and beyond. Number 1, advocate for yourself. Ask your teachers for help, even when you don't think you need it. Don't be afraid to speak up in a Zoom meeting if you don't understand Newton's laws of motion, last night's English reading, etc. The teachers I have had during my time at Salem are some of the best and the most passionate teachers that I have ever met. They want to see you succeed, so don't be afraid to ask for help. Number 2, maintain social connections. When the last few months of my senior year were taken away, I didn't know who to talk to and felt alone. Little did I know that my peers were also feeling the same, and it helped to FaceTime with them. The point is, try to keep in contact with your friends. Whether it is sending funny Instagram memes or having a 3-hour-long FaceTime call, for me, just seeing their faces and having a good laugh is what sometimes turned my day around. Number 3, find an outlet. There will be days all you want to do is either just sleep, cry, or binge Netflix all day. Don't do that. Find an activity to better yourself. Go take the time to paint, play with your pet, go for a walk, learn a new skill, or belt out your favorite Broadway musical. Lastly, to the wonderful class of 2021, my last piece of advice for you is take a deep breath and don't worry about college. You will end up where you are supposed to be. Trust me and have faith that it will all work out. Stay safe, stay miraculous, and be extraordinary. Go Purple! With love, Angelina Jolie Pierre, class of 2020. To my dearest Salem sisters, I want to start off this letter by saying how sorry I am that you won't be greeted in quite the same way with the kind faces of the orientation committee, students, teachers, staff, and our beautiful campus as you enter this school year. I wish it was different, and I know all of you do too. In light of the darkness, I am confident that this will be a great year for all of you. You are all at an amazing school. Salem changed my life, and I hope it does the same for you. My advice as a recent graduate is to always try your best in class, but know that it is okay to not always be the best at every subject. You are all smart young women with different strengths and weaknesses. I hope you will find and grow those strengths at Salem and learn to overcome your weaknesses. I know I did. Salem's courses are rigorous, but what you put into your learning is what you get out of it. And trust me, there are so many rewards to honesty and hard work. But do not forget to always put yourself first. If you need a mental health day, take one. If you're up till 3 in the morning finishing work, go to sleep. You are the key to your success. You can't be your best self on an empty battery. Don't forget the Salem community has your back. My last piece of advice to you all is to enjoy your weekends, check up on your friends, eat ice cream, tell your parents you love them, go on long walks, talk to Miss Johnson, she's the best, and most importantly, remind yourself that you are enough. I love you all, and I hope the best for your school year. Izzy Smith, class of 2020. To my beautiful and confident Salem sisters, I could sit here and talk about how things are going to be so different this year, but you already know that. I really feel for you guys, but have no doubt in my mind that you will handle it, as that is what Salem girls do. If there is one thing I have learned from my 4 years at Salem Academy, it's how to adapt and take things as they come. Uncertainty is not always a bad thing. Change is scary, but it's also good. It pushes you in directions you didn't think you could go. Also, optimism is your friend. I know it's more convenient to sulk in your misfortune, but do your best to see the good in your situation, as there really is nothing you can do to change it. Not seeing your friends every day in person is going to be hard, but it will make the next time you see them all the sweeter. Take this semester as a time to focus on you and do things you normally wouldn't have time to do. Now, here are some important tips that I learned during my 4 years at Salem. Number 1, stay out of drama, period. I know it's entertaining, but you will 100% look back at it in a couple years and realize how idiotic it was. Number 2, get involved in extracurriculars, but don't overwhelm yourself. Make sure you leave some time for you. If you overexert yourself, it will most likely result in burnout, which we absolutely do not want. Number 3, grades are important, but they absolutely do not define you, no matter what anyone else tells you. Do your best, but realize that there are far more important things in life. Now to the freshmen. This year is for reaching out and making friendships with the people around you, and I know that being separated from your classmates isn't going to make that easy. However, no excuses. Reach out to each other over text or FaceTime, and maybe even meet up. Online classes are going to be way more fun if you have someone to talk to about them. To the sophomores, this is such a golden year. Classwork may start to pick up, but the pressure isn't on yet. Take it in. Have some fun and don't be afraid to try new things. To the juniors, I know you're probably nervous because you have heard that junior year is the worst and that you will probably never see the light of day again. Not true. Junior year is not as bad as they say. Do work hard on school this year, but don't let it outshine any other aspect of your life that you enjoy. Finally, to the seniors, I know that this is a stressful year and that you probably feel like you need to have your whole life figured out, but you don't. The college process can be stressful, but don't stress each other out more than you need to. You are each on your own journey and are all about to go in completely different directions. So just enjoy being with each other and know that you will end up where you are meant to be. P.S. To my sweet marshals, MD, SS, and AK, I love you dearly and know that you will each do amazing things. I miss seeing all of your faces every day, but I know that you will all continue to grow into beautiful, confident, kind, and accomplished young women. Much love, Sylvia Dodds, class of 2020. I'd now like another member of the class of 2020 to share her message with you herself.
Hello, everyone. My beautiful, confident, radiant, and wonderful Salem sisters. Hi, how's it going? It's only been a few months since I walked through Salem's halls for the last times, but with everything going on right now, it feels like it's been years. So much has changed, and my heart goes out to each and every one of you who have been personally affected by the giant dumpster fire that has been 2020. Still, I don't want to bore you by just repeating the same things that everyone has been saying for the past few months about being in this together and staying strong. At this point, I think it's safe to say that you've gotten the message. Things are weird right now, and you're all super aware of that. So, let's step outside of this mess and talk about something that's much more exciting and lighthearted. High school. I'm here to share some helpful tips and tricks to make sure that you all are able to make the most out of your experience here. First, I'd like to address the freshmen. Hi, I don't know any of you guys, but I do know that you're embarking on a wild ride. The next 4 years are going to be wonderful, I promise. Starting a new school online is certainly an experience. I can definitely relate to what you all are going through. You may feel detached from everything and everyone. You're suddenly in a new environment with a new set of expectations. Everything is different, and you're experiencing it through your computer screens. It can sort of desensitize you to the novelty of your experience and make you feel disconnected from your peers. However, I want to encourage you to lean into absolutely everything you can. Speak up in class, try to befriend your fellow Salem sisters through social media, take advantage of office hours. Almost none of your teachers will bite you. Once you're able to actually go on campus for classes, try out different sports. If that's your thing, join a few clubs, explore your abilities in the fine arts. Salem's going to be a pretty big part of your life for the next 4 years. I really want you guys to make sure that you're engaged and have a happy and well-rounded experience here. Next, I want to talk to the sophomores. I hope you're all well. I can't tell you how sorry I am that you had to miss out on experiencing Salem's wonderful springtime traditions in person. Hopefully this year will be different. My advice for you all is going to be short and simple. As freshmen, you guys were scared and unsure. Throughout the year, you all formed opinions, strategies, and friend groups. You guys have Salem all figured out now and will probably experience little to no change in the next 3 years, right? Yeah, no. I want to tell you all to be open to change in the next 3 years. You still have so much ahead of you. Try new things, talk to new people, change your attitudes. It'll be worth it. Juniors, God bless y'all. This is the year where you're all going to be tested constantly. Things are getting real. You're going to be overwhelmed. That can't be avoided, but I want to offer some advice on how to not lose your entire mind this year. Quick disclaimer, I'm not going to be giving you any study tips because I'm still figuring that out myself. I just want to tell you all to remember to take breaks. I know we've placed a lot of value in the grind, but I promise you that self-care is equally important. Don't pull all-nighters. Don't drown yourself in your favorite caffeinated beverage. Spend time with your friends. Take time to breathe. This year is going to be stressful, so I want you all to go easy on yourselves. You deserve it. Hello, seniors. This is a anticlimactic beginning to the end of your high school career. I totally feel your pain, trust me. Senior year was already going to be difficult. My advice to you guys is to hold on to one another during this time. It might be easy to be consumed by stress this year. You're going to have a lot of pressure on you to get good grades and get into good schools. Despite all of this, I want you to support and love one another as much as you can through all of this. None of you deserve to be alone on top of the many other trials that this school year will bring. At the end of the school year, you're all going to be scattered around the world. Some of you may never see one another again. For now, just remember that your time together is valuable. Please don't take it for granted like I did. Okay, I'm done with the boring advice stuff. Thank you for humoring me for however long it took to read this letter. I may have rambled a bit, and I'm sorry for that. Hopefully, you found value in at least one thing I had to say. I'm thankful for the memories and friendships I made at Salem. I deeply hope that once you leave Salem's strong walls, sunlit hills, and stately shadows, you too can remember your time here fondly. With love, Jordan Duncan, class of 2020.
Thank you so much, Jordan. And thank you to all of the alumni who have shared their wisdom and their support with our current wonderful Salem girls. We are so appreciative of the community that we are all a part of. Next, I would like to ask Dr. Amy Rio to lead us in our benediction.
As we conclude our time together, I would like to leave you with one of my favorite Celtic blessings. Bless to us, O God, the earth beneath our feet. Bless to us, O God, the path whereon we go. Bless to us, O God, the people whom we meet. Go in peace. Amen.
Thank you so much. Last but not least, I will leave you with a lovely video from the spring of some of our very own Glee Club members alongside college students doing the alma mater.
My Thank you all so much for being with us today. Happy Friday and happy 2020-2021 school year.